Okay, everybody, hello and welcome. DSP here for a very special premiere stream. I hope you're all excited. The summer has officially begun. I mean, yes, it started last month, but I really think that many people were waiting for this event in particular to happen to officially kind of kick off and launch the summertime, right? And, I played Red Dead Redemption already. I've been doing some other downtime things. But ultimately, I think this is what everyone has been anticipating. And it all begins today, ladies and gents. Yes, Dark Souls 2. Scholar of the First Sin. It begins right now. So, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about many things. I have a lot of announcements on the pre-stream today. So, bear with me as I go through a lot of important stuff. Okay, so you understand what's going on with many different things. First of all, Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. Why am I playing this? You might say, but Phil, 3 years ago, you played Dark Souls 2 when it was new. We remember. It was pretty good because you ran through the game and, you played it fresh when it was newly released. And we really liked your playthrough then. Why would you be playing Dark Souls 2 again? In fact, if you actually look back to the playthrough, all right, it was pretty good because I beat almost everything in the game. The only thing I did not beat in my original vanilla Dark Souls 2 run was the Ancient Dragon. But I got him down to like almost no health. And then he cheesily beat my ass. I was like so fucking frustrated because I did try to beat him a ton. But everything else in that game I pretty much absolutely destroyed. Now, there's a few things about that playthrough that, of course, people had issue with. Because, as you know, people always complain no matter what I do. If I succeed in a game, they have to bitch about it. Because, God forbid that I'm actually not terrible at a game and I actually, do well. Or, especially a particularly difficult series like the Dark Souls franchise. How dare Phil be able to beat a Dark Souls game? It's not, it's ridiculous. He's obviously terrible at games, so how dare he do that? And all the usual bullshit you hear from the morons. Alright, so let's talk. First of all, in my original Dark Souls 2 run, I grinded a lot. That was before I had moved to Washington, okay? That was actually the first half of 2014. So over 3 years ago at this point. But yeah, the 2014 run, I grinded a lot. If you actually watch on the playthrough, you'll notice that there's giant jumps in my levels. Because what I used to do is at night, when I had nothing else really to do and I was relaxing after a day of gaming, I would sit in my living room in Connecticut and I would have on the TV something where I would grind, but then I would watch something else on my other, PC monitor. So I remember during this time period when I was playing Dark Souls 2, I would grind every night wherever I was in Dark Souls 2 to get extra souls, and then I would be watching something else, and I ended up gaining a ridiculous amount of levels via this method. So number one, some people were very angry by that, alright? Because they were like, that's not fair. Phil didn't play it legitimately. He grinded. Now, grinding in RPGs is a completely valid method. It's completely allowed. There's no rule against it. In fact, it wouldn't exist in the game if you weren't supposed to do it. Okay? What I actually did, I remember when I was playing, there's these items that you could use to kindle the bonfires that actually makes the enemies come back to life after you've killed them a certain amount of times. And they actually come back even more difficult. And they give you even more souls. So that's what I ended up doing in a lot of areas to gain massive souls and gain tons of levels overnight, alright? But as you know, complaint. People didn't like that. They're like, how dare Phil grind? Unacceptable that he would do that, whatever. Number two, about halfway through my playthrough of Dark Souls 2, I discovered something. I discovered that the lightning spell, I think it's Lightning Spear, was incredibly overpowered. It seemed like this spell, it hit area of effect. It penetrated tons of enemy defenses. For whatever reason, it seemed like you could store a lot of these spells, right? And through my upgrading of my character, through a certain skill tree, I was able to get my character insanely buff with these lightning spears. And so, pretty much my entire second half of the game ended up me just, destroying the opposition with lightning spears. And then I eventually found the even better one, the Great Lightning Spear, which made it even better. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous how good this spell was. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Understand that this was the original build of Dark Souls 2 that was intended. But I guess the game developers realized that, after people were cheesing the fuck out of this ability, that it really was too overpowered. Alright, so they decided, oh, well, we're going to fix that. And eventually they did patch it. They actually didn't patch it until much, much later. Like, several DLCs into the game, they patched it. Which sucked for me, because then I had to completely restat my character and make him different to finish the DLCs, because the Dick Lightning sucked. It basically did no damage. It was, like, really nerfed and not very effective at all. So, I know a lot of people had issue with that. I get that. Especially if you're a Dark Souls purist and someone finds an abusive strategy to get through the game. So a lot of people, it was hilarious, because at the time, 3 years ago, a lot of people said, oh, Phil never beat Dark Souls 2. He cheesed the game. He used abusive strategy. That's exactly how they sounded. Or at least that's how they sound to normal fucking people who don't care about that shit. That's how people like that sound. Just so you guys know, if you're like that, if you're anal about something that no one really cares about, that's how you sound to them. And that's how you look and sound, so you should fucking stop. And stop being so inclusive to one way of thinking, and realize that in the big scheme of things, no one cares how anyone really beats a game. Okay? I'm just saying. No one gives a shit. So, yes, folks. That was my first run of Dark Souls 2. I completely destroyed the game, besides Ancient Dragon. Okay? Now, eventually, I did buy the Season Pass, and all the different DLCs did release. And if I actually remember correctly, okay, I did legitimately beat all the DLCs. The only one I did not beat was the one with ice. Because if I remember correctly, there's one area where you go outdoors, you're in this snow area, and there were infinitely regenerating wolves. And I would finally get to the area I was supposed to go to in this snow area, and then they had to fight more wolves. And I was so angry, because I was like, this is the stupidest part of the whole fucking game. Nowhere in the game are there infinitely regenerating enemies anywhere except for right here. It's really dumb. And again, my build wasn't good for this particular area, and it fucked me up or flipped me out or whatever. I just got so angry, and I said, fuck this. And I never went back to it. So there's one DLC in this game I never beat. I never saw what was past that area of the snowfield with the enemies in it or whatever it was. Oh, excuse me, it was reindeer. It was demon reindeer. Yes. Now I'm remembering. So, there's a few things about my first run people didn't like. So, a few things. First of all, in this run of Scholar of the First Sin, the game is different. From what I'm to understand, in Scholar of the First Sin, enemy positions have been changed. There's more enemies. Enemies are tougher. There's some people who really dislike this version of the game because they say it was made purposely just to annoy the fuck out of you. Like, it's not even about challenge. It's just about annoyance levels. Great. Because I'm sure that people will love that. I'm sure that people will absolutely love that. That I get frustrated as hell. Right? So that's number one. Number two, in this playthrough, I pledge not to over-abuse lightning spears. I mean, I can't anyway because they nerfed them, right? But I really want to do a different kind of build. I do. I think I'm going to do a more melee build. I've had a few suggestions of things that I should do. One being that I should do a dual-wielding power stance build for this game playthrough. Because apparently it's unique to Dark Souls 2. It's apparently really fun to have two of the same weapon and be able to do like these double-handed attacks on enemies. But I've also heard it's very different because you have no defense. You can't block. So you have to roll and dodge, almost like Bloodborne. It becomes like you're dodging constantly and then trying to find these double-handing attacks, right? So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I might do that. That actually sounds pretty intriguing to me because I had never really played Dark Souls like that before. And I'd like to see how that turns out. So maybe that's what I'll go for. I've also had some good suggestions. People say that maces and rapiers are incredibly overpowered in Dark Souls 2. And I've never played with a mace or a rapier. So, well, actually, I take that back. I think in my original run of Dark Souls 1, I actually did use a mace. But apparently, yeah, mace and rapier is really fucking good. So I may do that. I may try that. Try a mace or rapier and focus in on those classes and see, you know, how it works out. So I guess we'll find out as I play through the game, you know, what I want to do. But definitely, I'm not going to be doing magic spam. I did that the first time. I get it. I did it. I saw it. Time to do something completely different. Okay. So, also, a lot of people are questioning, will Phil summon during this playthrough? Not if I can help it. As you know, when I play the Dark Souls games, I typically try not to. Alright? I try to beat everything legitimately. You know, there's a few things I didn't. Like, for example, in my first run, I could not beat the Mirror Knight. And I ended up having to summon to kill the Mirror Knight and progress with the game. I'm hoping to be able to legitimately beat every boss this time around. I don't know if I will, but let's see. I'm going to give it a good, honest try. Okay? And we'll go from there. We'll see how it goes. Some other key differences between this and the original playthrough. The game runs at 60 frames per second now, and the graphics apparently have been improved on the PS4. I've never played a Dark Souls game in 60 frames per second, so I have no idea how this will affect my gameplay. I'm almost thinking it'll make the game easier. Because, you know, one of the most challenging things about a game like Dark Souls is that if you get hit once or twice, you're dead. But if you have 60 frames, that's double the frames to see and react to enemy actions. It may make the game easier, in my opinion. You know, and of course, I compare this to fighting games running in 30 or 60 frames per second. I'm absolutely, you know, 100% in the know that, you know, if the more frames you got, the better. It makes it easier to react to stuff. Alright. Now, let's talk again about online capability. As I said, I may summon, I don't know. Maybe I'll do PvP at some point. It doesn't really... PvP is its own animal. It doesn't really need to be done in a Dark Souls playthrough. But I may still explore it. I remember in my original Dark Souls 2 run, I did do a little bit of PvP. Now, what about invasions? Alright. Folks, the bottom line is I want to play this game and have fun with it. It's already going to be difficult enough, being that it's supposed to be like a master level run of the game. And I am re-experiencing it again as a different build and all of this. The last thing I want is constantly, every 5 fucking seconds, someone invading my game. And you know the idiots are going to try to do this. Alright, you just know it. So, we'll see what happens. I want to play it by ear, and I want to play it legitimately, and I'll leave everything as is. Alright, I will. I won't touch it. I'll leave everything on default settings and everything. But the bottom line is, if some asshole keeps invading, if I keep constantly invasion, okay, then I'm probably not going to play it online. I'm just being honest here. I want to play through the game and have fun and you know, be challenged by the game, not challenged by assholes who are fucking stream sniping me and invading me constantly. Alright? So, yes. That's the truth of the matter, folks. If I have to, I'll go offline, but I'm going to leave it on to start, and we'll play it by ear, and we'll see how it goes. Okay? Fair enough? Okay. So, this run should be interesting. No dick lightning, you know, no grinding, trying to play it as legit as possible, maybe doing a power stance build. It's going to be very, very different from that original playthrough, that's for sure. Now, another thing that people have been asking me about, okay? Will I be doing all of the DLCs? Well, here's the thing. In Scholar of the First Sin, all of the DLCs are built into the game. They don't even play like DLCs. It's like they're all in there now. All right. So that being said, Will I do them? Maybe. I remember that one or two of them was really good, and I hated 2 of them. I think there's 4 of them, right? I remember there was one I thought was really ingenious, really well done, a whole giant new area. And then I remember there was one that I absolutely thought was terrible. It was just a small, confined area and just annoying as fuck. So, oh, there's 3 of them? Okay. 3 of them. So, we'll see. Let me put it this way. I'm not majorly concerned with completing every single DLC in the game. But at the same time, maybe I'll do them. I don't know. I think really what's going to depend on is time constraints. You know, today's July 5th. I'm going to be playing this game for a week. And then I'm taking some time off. And then I'm coming back. And then we've got about another 2 weeks left in July for me to play this game. I kind of want to finish this up by early August. Because in early August, I'm going to be doing a Sonic the Hedgehog playthrough, which the patrons are currently voting on right now. I'm also going to be playing this game called Tacoma. And also, I'm hoping to continue on and you know, play Danganronpa 2 while I'm playing Dark Souls 2. So, it's not like this is the only game I'm exclusively going to be playing. It's going to be balanced with other stuff. Okay? So really, I have a good 3 weeks in July, and maybe a little bit of time in early August to play through this game. But I can't have it lingering, you know what I mean? I can't have this lingering that in mid-August, I'm still fucking playing Dark Souls 2, and now I'm starting up new games. I can't do that. So it really is going to depend on, you know, how things go with the playthrough will determine how much content I actually do in the game, alright? Fair enough? Alright. So that's the deal. Today, folks, Dark Souls 2 on both streams. Both this stream right now and my later stream tonight at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time will be Dark Souls 2. Tomorrow I'll be doing it once, and I'll basically be playing Dark Souls 2 once for the next several days, and then I'll be balancing it with other stuff. Like tomorrow I'll be doing more Crash 3, Friday will be more Danganronpa, alright? So I'm going to be balancing it so that it's not just overload of Dark Souls 2. However, folks, I do have something important I need to let you know in regards to videos and uploading to my YouTube channels, alright? Here we go. So listen up, because it's very important, and I want people to understand what's going on. As of right now, or actually as of yesterday, my Independence Day fighting game marathon, I am going to start having a surplus of videos for YouTube on purpose. So what that means is that when I live stream daily, I am not going to upload all that gameplay to my DSPGaming channel. So if you're tuning in live, great, but understand that if you're just watching the videos on DSPGaming, you will not be 100% caught up on every playthrough, alright? And I need you to understand that, and the reason I'm doing that is because I need to save a pretty decent number of videos for my time off next week. Next week, starting today, so a week from today, I'm having time off. So I won't be live streaming and creating new videos for about a 4 to 5 day period. I need the time off. As you guys can hear, my voice is still fucking strained and my allergies are not getting any better. I think it's because I'm not giving my body enough time to heal. You know what I mean? Every day I'm here streaming, talking. I'm not giving myself enough of an opportunity to rest up so that I can get better. So, ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is I need the time off. I just need it, alright? And there's not much I can do about it. I need to, you know, I after months and months of working my ass off, I just need some time away. And this is the time to do it because there's no new releases in July. Let's face it, it's actually a good time to do it. So, yeah, starting today, there will be a surplus of videos. It's on purpose. Now, I understand some people won't like this. You know, I used to do it like this. People may not realize this. I did this for 2.5 years before I moved to Washington. In the years of 2013 and it wasn't 2.5, it was 1.5 years. From 2013 to 2014, I always did this. I saved up videos because I used to take time off once a month. Actually, once a month, I would have like a 5-day time off. And I would have a surplus of videos that I would upload during that time frame. So I used to always do this. But now, let's face it, I haven't done it in a couple years, and people aren't used to it anymore. Alright? People just aren't used to me doing this surplus of video deal. So I understand there's some that'll say, but Phil, I'm watching your stream now, but I can't watch tonight. If I come back tomorrow, now there's going to be a big chunk of gameplay missing. Oh no. To which I say, yeah, you're right, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're going to have to catch up on those videos over on DSPGaming when they upload, but they won't upload today. They'll probably upload tomorrow. But the good news is this isn't a new playthrough. This isn't a new game, right? It's not like, oh no, I missed a chunk of the narrative or anything like that. It's just an area of Dark Souls 2 that you won't see, and you have to go watch it later on, all right? That's the deal. That's how it's going to work. I have to do it because I can't have 5 days on YouTube where no videos upload. Basically, people will get turned off and go away. The reason that DSPGaming is still in operation after 7 years is because almost every single day there's tons of new videos. That's how it's always been. That's its claim to fame. There's constant new gameplay there. If I just went away for a week, I'd probably lose thousands of viewers, all right? So, that's how it's going to go, all right? It's going to be Dark Souls 2 footage and other games, but I'm always going to have a little bit of a surplus for this next week. And then during my time off next week, the videos that were saved up as surplus will be uploaded to DSPGaming. So yes, you'll always be behind on the gameplay if you cannot see every stream. And even if you're watching every YouTube video, there's going to be a little bit that's behind. The streams will always be ahead of what you're seeing on DSPGaming until I return from my time off. Then it should be all caught up. All right? Fair enough? And no, I'm not going to archive the streams on Twitch because then no one will watch the YouTube videos. In which case, I make no money and I can't live stream any day and every day anymore. And I can't do the videos anymore and I won't be able to be here anymore. So that would be very counterproductive and very silly. So I will not be archiving these streams on Twitch. Alright. So I've covered all my bases in regards to the Dark Souls 2 playthrough now. Alright. Now, let's talk about some other very important things. Alright. Let's talk Patreon, folks. Because right now, the patrons from the month of June are voting on this Sonic playthrough that's going to take place in early August. That's great. Thanks to everyone who pledged in June. I have a positive announcement, and I have kind of a negative announcement. Although it's really not negative, it's more of a FYI, alright? Just so people can understand. So first of all, I'm announcing officially right now the monthly goal for July for Patreon, alright? So, at my Patreon page, which is patreon.com/DarksidePhil, if we hit the monthly goal this month, alright, of funding, which is $1,125, not really. Allow me to explain. My Patreon page is all screwed up, because every single month people pledge, and then they pull their pledges, or people pledge, and then their pledges don't clear. It's all messed up, because that total you see on my Patreon page is not accurate, okay? In truth, when it comes to Patreon, I'm trying to raise $1,250 a month, period. That's what I'm trying to raise. Since I started Patreon in early 2015, that's what I've been trying to raise every single month. It's never changed. The problem is, the total on my main page is always wrong. No matter what, it's always off, okay? So, I had to readjust it because the goal was, I adjusted it like 6-8 months ago to say $1,025. And when it adjusts for everything, that would equate to $1,250. I know that makes no sense, but it's the truth. Patreon's numbers are all fucked up. So, I would still be making the $1,250 a month. All of a sudden, now, I guess there were several months where a bunch of people were declined, and it screwed up all the totals. So let me give you some perspective, alright? In the month of June, it showed, public facing, it showed that I had raised $1,183, okay? In reality, we only hit the goal by $30. So really, I raised a little bit more than the goal that I set, okay? Just a little bit more. But the Patreon page was showing almost $160+ more. So there was a big discrepancy of $130+, all right? So I adjusted my public-facing total to now say we need to raise $1,125 in order to hit the goal. So that's more accurate, all right? I'm not changing the goal. The monthly goal for my Patreon is still raise $1,250, okay? I want you to understand that. Nothing's changed. I'm just trying to make the public-facing numbers more accurate, all right? Now, that being said, folks, now that the Sonic event has ended, meaning people already pledged and the Sonic event is going to happen, people are voting on it, a ton of people pulled their pledges already. Okay, they already did. And if you actually take a look at my Patreon page now, you'll see that sadly, the funding went from $1,183 to $1,000. So over $180 of pledges were pulled now that this Sonic event is over. So already we're way under the goal. You know, we're way under hitting the goal for the month of July. Good news is it's very early in July, and I hadn't actually announced, you know, we haven't announced, well, I haven't announced what the goal is yet for this month. I'm about to right now, okay? Hopefully, once I announce what the goal is, people will be motivated to pledge again, all right? So, what is the goal for July if we hit the Patreon funding level? The goal for July is, yes, ladies and gentlemen, again, the best one, in my opinion, the one that always returns and ends up being successful. It's the return of the Patron's Choice playthrough. So what this means is if you pledge $5 or more in July to my Patreon, and if we hit the funding level, all right, we have to hit that funding goal, you'll be nominating and then voting on a full playthrough that I will be starting probably in September. It'll be the downtime game that I balance in September with all the other new releases that are coming out that month. All right? Now, here's the thing. This is different from previous Patron's Choice playthroughs. Here's why. Because I'm laying ground rules for this one to avoid the same thing happening over and over. If you checked out all the previous Patron's Choice playthroughs, you may have noticed a pattern. Persona 4, then Persona 3. Danganronpa 1, then Danganronpa 2. Yakuza. So you see what I'm saying? All the Patron's Choice playthroughs always end up seem to be a Japanese-centric, very small, niche audience kind of a playthrough. So when I end up playing the game, most people don't watch it. And they get frustrated. Why is Phil playing this game? Well, because the patrons nominated and voted on it, and it's a Patron's Choice playthrough, so he has to play it. Well, this sucks because it's a long-ass fucking game. It's like 50 hours long, and he should be playing other games. Do you see the pattern that I'm noticing? Alright? I can't have this anymore. Because the bottom line is, these Patron's Choice playthroughs, even though I enjoy them, they take up far too much fucking time. Danganronpa 1 was like, people told me it was like 20 hours long. It was over 40. Okay? Same thing now with Danganronpa 2. I'm going to be playing it all this month, probably all next month. And I don't know when the hell I'm going to finish it. Because it's so much dialogue and you hear my voice. My voice is hoarse as fuck. And I can't play the goddamn game. And I'm honestly, I'm tired of it. Like, I understand that the people who are pledging are maybe of a certain mindset. But I can't just keep doing the same kind of fucking game over and over. It's not going to work if we do that. Alright? It has to be something that can be finished in a reasonable amount of time, but also something that people are going to want to watch and see. Not that, oh, well, it's great that Phil's playing a great AAA release, but whenever he plays that Patron's Choice playthrough, I'm just not going to pay attention. I can't do that. I need something that people are actually going to want too. So I'm laying down the law this time around for the Patron's Choice playthrough for July. It cannot be an RPG. It cannot be a visual novel. It cannot be a Japanese culture-centric game. It has to be something that's less than 20 hours long and is going to have more of, at least an appeal to those who are there for fun gameplay and not this kind of long-ass narrative-based shit. All right? So there you go. It's that simple. I have to lay down the law. Because at this point, there's just too much of it. I mean, for 2 years, I've been doing Patron's Choice playthroughs, and it's the same thing every time. And it's like, what the fuck, again? And, I have to be honest here. There's some people who've wanted this, or they always say, I can't believe that this game didn't get nominated and voted on. You know what? I have to say this. That's your fault. Because Patron's Choice is based on your input. So if you are not pledging, if you are not nominating, and if you don't vote, then obviously it's going to keep being the same kind of game. You know what I mean? It's that simple. It's Patron's Choice in the hands of the patrons. So the people who are pledging and supporting me want to see a certain style of game. That's why for 2 years, the Patron's Choice playthroughs have been the same kind of game. All right? So please, if you want to see something different, you got to pledge. $5 or more this month. You got to nominate. You got to vote. I would absolutely love to do something completely different. But it just hasn't happened. Okay? Fair enough. I think this is actually because I'm laying down the law and I'm saying because I'm not going to be doing a long, drawn-out, narrative-style, Japanese-centric game this time for Patron's Choice, people might actually pledge and say, oh shit, if my pledge isn't just going to go towards a kind of game I don't want to see, then I'll pledge this month. Okay? So, please, that's the goal for this month. However, we have to hit the funding goal. And right now, we're already below the funding goal by a good 160 to 70 bucks. So we've got a long ways to go in the month of July if we want to hit the funding goal and have this Patron's Choice playthrough happen. Alright? Fair enough? Alright. There you go, folks. So that's the Patreon update. Wanted to give you that update. Also, in celebration of this Dark Souls 2 playthrough, Dr. Zombius has created custom pop-up messages. You may have seen a few of them, as a few people have already subbed to the channel during this pre-stream. He made 3 completely new ones. You've only seen the sub ones so far, but I love all 3 of them. So if you cheer, sub to the channel, or tip me during the Dark Souls 2 playthrough, you'll see these special pop-ups, alright? Cheering, 50 bits, subbing and clicking on the share button, or tipping me $2 or more will get you one of those on-screen notifications. In addition, I will be giving thank you shoutouts to the people who do contribute during the streams, alright? Now, I have something else I need to say. Sorry this pre-stream is so long, but I knew it would be because I have so much to talk about. As you know, next week I'm taking time off. I'm trying to recuperate, I'm trying to heal, I'm trying to rest, I'm trying to come back so I can come back fully refreshed for the rest of the year, alright? I need it. My throat's all fucked up and everything, okay? However, that means 5 days away, right? 5 days away from streaming. And as you guys and gals know, with YouTube, which completely the bottom fell out of it earlier this year, ad revenue plummeted, really live streaming and the cheering, the subbing, the tipping, all that has become my life's blood. In fact, as I've told you guys, Twitch is now about 50% of my income. It is. Twitch has become massively more important to me. Live streaming and the interaction that we get because of, you know, the difference in balance now, the difference of my streaming and everything. That being said, I'm going to be away for 5 days, and because I'm going to be away for 5 days, that means there will be no subbing, tipping, or cheering for 5 days. That's huge. Because 5 days away of a 30-day month, that's a good, 1/6 of the month, and that's a big dip in income that I need to pay my bills. So, what I would ask is that while you're watching my Dark Souls 2 playthrough, right, and or anything else I'm streaming between now and the time that I'm off, please be aware that I am going to be away, and I do need, whatever support you can lend. Cheering, subbing, tipping helps me tremendously. If you could be maybe a little bit more generous during the next week, since I'll be away for 5 days, I'd appreciate that, alright? Keep in mind, I'm not asking you to go out of your way and go crazy. I'm just saying, be aware that if I have 5 days this month with no income, and I come back, and now I have a big dip in revenue, that just means there's less stuff I can do. Maybe I won't be able to cover every new release coming up in the next few months because I can't afford it, right? It's just that simple. And there's a lot of games coming out starting in mid-August. Holy shit. Just in August, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm counting 6 to 7 games in the second half of August. September has a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 or 7 games in September. Don't even get me started on October. Please, don't even get me started. Alright? So, all that going on, if you want to see me be able to cover all the hot new releases, I need your support. Alright? Fair enough? And it's funny because some people, well, Phil's going on vacation. I'm not going on vacation. Some people seem to be completely not understanding what this time off is. It's not. It's not a vacation. You want to know what I'll be doing during time off? I'll be cleaning my house. I'll be basically just driving around town, maybe getting a little bit of mileage on the car, getting some fresh air. I'm not going anywhere or spending any money. I don't have any money to spend. It's just me taking time away from the constant talking on stream, because listen to my voice. I barely have one. You know, I barely have one. I'm not going crazy, driving, you know, spending crazy money. I'm not going to any hotel. You know what I mean? I'm not eating out at an expensive restaurant. None of that's going to happen. I don't have the money to do it. So, I don't want people to think, oh, Phil's going on an expensive paid vacation. He's flying out somewhere and spending thousands of dollars, and he expects us to cheer and come back, and he comes back. No. It's just me staying away from the stream for a few days to recuperate. That's the whole point. It's time off. It's not a vacation. It's just time away. Ugh. Okay. How the hell did this Armit Toast asshole get back in here? I permanently banned him twice, and he's still back in here. Get this fucker out of here. Seriously, I'm going to get him IP banned next time I see him. Because every time he's in here, he just says something fucking trolling. I'm tired of it. He thinks because he fucking subscribed with Twitch Prime that he can just say whatever he wants. He's a piece of shit. Get him the fuck out. Alright. Alright, everyone. So, yes. To summarize, if you like what I'm doing, you're enjoying the streams, you're enjoying everything, you want to see me keep being able to do this, when I'm playing Dark Souls 2, you might want to be a little bit more generous, since I will have the days away next week, but I want to say thank you to everyone who has contributed. You guys have been awesome. Like I said, I wouldn't be here. I would have completely been gone for good, if not for the amazing amount of outpouring of support here on live stream since March, right? Just think about it. I've now been doing this for 4 to 4.5 months. And it's working. It's freaking working. I didn't know if it would, but you guys saved my butt because YouTube is crap now. It really is. So thank you everyone for being understanding that I had to change up my style. It seems people are enjoying my videos more than ever. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, one final thing, because this is cool. We have a very special introduction to the Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin playthrough, folks. A very special introduction that I'm about to play right now. I can't record it for YouTube due to copyright reasons, but I couldn't play it as a special start for everyone here, okay? So are you ready? This is pretty cool. This was made by Third Eye the Third. Pretty nice thing he submitted to my forums. Alright. And I'm going to show you. It's pretty nice. You're going to like it. By the way, you just saw the new cheering pop-up message. Pretty cool, right? I got to say thank you. Shout out to Dr. Zombius who made these for us. Exclusively for the Dark Souls 2 playthrough. It's going to be really good. Alright. Alright, now, before we do that, let me just do some thank you shout outs and then we'll do it. And then we'll get started with gameplay. Hold on. Let me scroll down here. Quite a lot of people following me, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Alright. First of all, shout out to Game Master 2003 is dead, who did a 10-bit cheer and said, can't stay long, Phil. Busy day, but here's some bits. Thank you, Game Master. Thanks to Brock Lesnar 97, who resubscribed to the channel. He said, awesome streams, keep up the good work. Pika Tits resubscribed for the 8th month in a row and says, my tits are ready for your stream. Slow Burn Duchess did a 15-bit cheer. He says, Phil, have a great stream. I'm anticipating this one. Mountain Honey did a 10-bit cheer. He says, are there games that you want to replay in the future like Dark Souls 2? Yes. There's many games that have potential to do a redemption run. Let's just put it that way. Okay? Let's see. Scrolling up here. Shout out to Robot in Disguise, who subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you, Robot in Disguise. Hold on, I'm scrolling through a lot of people who followed. Shout out to Kethani, who resubscribed to the channel for the 3rd month in a row, earning themselves the Silver Crown Chat Badge. Thank you, Kethani. Oh my god, a lot of people followed. Holy fuck. Shout out to DJ Luna Eclipse, who did a 20-bit cheer, and he said, no JR. I have no idea what that means, but thank you for the cheer. Shout out to Fly Eagles Fly 01 who did 200-bit cheer. He said, I was out without my computer for the last 3 days, so I couldn't be in chat. Watched on the TV. Got it back now. Thank you, Fly Eagles Fly, for the cheer. Thank you to Joseph Gerbils, excuse me, who did a 50-bit cheer. He says, Power Stance is a feature unique to Dark Souls 2. I think it would be cool to do Power Stance Mace's build for this playthrough. As I've already said, I may be doing that. Excuse me. Excuse me again. I just finished my V8 energy drink, by the way. And shout out to Dooley, who did a 200-bit cheer and says, good luck with the playthrough. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here live. It is now time to begin. We're going to have the special stream-exclusive introduction to the Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin playthrough, courtesy of Third Eye the Third, and then we're going to get started. All right, everyone ready? All right. No Stewart 360. We did not lose over 200 viewers. We lost 200 view bots. It's pretty obvious that the stream is being botted still. The stream has been botted for months. It's pretty obvious, all right? All right, I'm going to now stop recording for YouTube. I'm going to mute my mic. I'm going to mute the PS4, and we're going to watch a special intro. Everyone ready? All right, here we go.